Welcome back, guys. Lance from Honeycutt Brush. It's good to see you again. It's been a little while, but we are in a wooded area today. I've got a customer that has land that has issues perking, and long story short, his house is behind me about 250 yards that way, and this is one of the only spots that the land can perk for his sewage. So stepping in here, you can see, and I'm going to put this actually forward so you guys can see what's going on. You can see these flags, and what the guy did was came in, he surveyed it, and he's got these flags in specific areas. And you can see here, let me step through all this mess. This is where he did his perk test. So basically what they do is they drill a hole, and I might be wrong when I say this, but they're looking for clay or they're looking for something. Guys, maybe help me out in the comments with that, because it's the first time I've ever had to deal with it. It just sort of goes this way, all the way around. You can see the flags off in the distance. I think you can see the little red one right over there. Basically what my job is today is to cut out this little spot right here for him, get it nice, and let me get out of this woods, get it nice and level, and stay off of the flags. He doesn't want me to run over any of these, and I don't blame him. So our job is to try to stay away from those flags and cut this whole thing out for him really quick, knock down some of the bigger trees. He's got a huge excavator, so he's just gonna come through and knock these out. You probably saw it in the short the other day. Let's just jump into this. Let's get it knocked out. Guys, I appreciate you. I had over 200,000 views last week or last month with shorts and videos, and it's all thanks to you. So I appreciate that you continue watching, and hopefully my content can get better for some of you in the future, and that you would consider subscribing. Anyways, guys, let's get into it. I'll see you later. Out. This is just something I want to get off my chest while we're watching this video. This job was a little bit harder than what I expected it to be. I thought this was going to be a quick little 3-hour job. I just come in, sort of knock some trees down and move through it and get to where I need to be. But with these flags, it made my job a lot harder. And one thing I didn't realize with the flags, and you'll see this later on in the video, the surveyor, he would just walk in from where the road was and go straight. That was, I guess, how he checked his perk test. So me thinking that the flags were from, you know, corner going through the woods all the way to the back, I thought I was going to be able to run a straight line right through it and just make it easy. So here I'm just sort of cutting out a little road so I can just start working my way in there. And you just see me, I'm running in a circle, running in a circle, running in a circle, and I'm always looking. And especially with this time lapse, you can sort of see the flags, but it just got to a point to where, you know, you get lost in translation. You got some thick stuff right there, and then all of a sudden a flag would disappear and you're panicking because you think you've run over it. I got to a point to where I just got so concerned with hitting these flags, because this was the pivotal piece of the whole property for me to even be in there. This was the whole reason he wanted me in there, was because my mulcher could do what his excavator could not. And let me explain this just a little bit better. What the surveyor wanted was more of a just top dressing instead of a go in and push trees over. The whole reason behind this perk test was because he didn't want the ground to be tore up, scratched up. And what I mean by scratched up is taking a bucket and literally breaking the dirt up underneath, getting it to where you can see the clay, you know, underneath this first, you know, level of leaves and debris. He just wanted it to be nice and mulched down. He didn't want any of the root systems to be disrupted. He just wanted it to be set up to where if you walked in there, he could work. And that mulching head, it doesn't really do anything to the roots underneath. That was the whole main deal with this, with the owner. He's got a huge Komatsu, and if he had started pushing trees over, it would have broke the ground up. And that is not what the surveyor wanted. He wanted the ground to stay intact. He wanted the topsoil to be on top. He wanted everything underneath to stay where it was. So this is exactly why we did what we did. Later on in this video, you'll sort of see what it looks like towards the end. I wish I had some drone footage of it, but man, it looked like night and day. And I rode back over there the other day, and he's already had all the other trees cut down and shipped out of there. So all in all, this is exactly what we wanted to do. We just wanted to make sure we were missing these flags. And My whole deal with this was if I did hit a flag, I was going to be honest with the guy. We sort of talked about it. Said if I miss one, I've got a mind's eye where it's going to be, and we're going to try to get it back to where it was. So you'll see in just a second of me talking, I got one in my hand that I'm already going to go talk to him about. So I'm going to cut back to past Lance and let him do the talking from this point forward. Let's talk about this situation. So there were more flags than there has been led on to be. And while I'm out here working, we're having to sort of finagle. So you can see here that looking at it this way, you would think the straight line would be going that way, just straight down the line. It looks to me like he just walked straight in. Probably the smartest thing to do is come from path of least resistance, or just the easiest way in, easiest way out. And he's done this all the way down. So you see that straight line there. We're looking around, looking around, looking around, and then boom, see a flag. So what I do when I see that flag is I'm looking back this way to see where his next set of flags are. Well, there's no flag over here. So that tells me that was his end row. But it's a straight shot. You can see red, and if you can look a little bit easier, it's white, and then another red towards the back right there. My plan is to just come in here and cut down what I can, get some of these smaller pines, 4 6-inch pines, drag them out and cut them in the street that they got right there, a little road, and they cut in the woods. All right, so I just got done talking to the landowner. He told me to stop where the flag stopped. So what I'm gonna do is just keep working my way in, and we're gonna sort of, you can sort of see the flags just sort of pitted in here. We're gonna try to work our way through these flags. And they stop, you can see what I'm almost done right there. But they stop about right here, and then nothing. You can see a pink one out there, but there's no more here at the road. So I'm basically gonna start right here at this end. I'm gonna cut my way in all the way to that pink one out there. You might not be able to see it, you may be able to see it, I don't know. So we're gonna cut it all out. It'll probably be about a 5-hour job, but we're getting there. What I failed to mention here was I changed my whole strategy up on how I went in and out. I've decided that, you know, I had already walked through there and looked off camera sort of where the flags were. I'm gonna go in vertically, not horizontally, with the tree line. But on a cut here, you can just sort of see how the more I cut, the more I found, and I just got to a point to where, you know, I was doing everything I could to miss flags and make sure that none of these flags were touched. One thing I will say is this job is not for the aloof. You have to be on your P's and Q's 24/7 when you're running that machine. Number one, you've got a death machine literally in front of you that can cut up anything, and you don't want to walk in front of it. It can throw things God knows how far. Those of you that do this for a living and are sort of watching my videos and scratching your head on some of the things I do, I know you're out there. It's one very dangerous machine, and people tend to just want to stand right behind it. They want to be right up in front of it, and they don't even realize that it can throw a 100-pound piece of wood faster than some major league pitchers can throw a baseball, and you can't get out of the way of that. I don't know how many people I've told just to, hey, you know, I'm going to be mulching back here. You need to stay out of the way because I don't want you to get hurt. And quite frankly, you have no idea how far this thing can sling, you know, a piece of wood. And they don't realize how far it slings it until they're standing back a good 300 feet and they see one run across one side of the woods to the other. So you can even see when I'm mulching a straight shot of a tree, like let's say I'm cutting a hardy section of a tree straight up and down, 12 o'clock to me, you'll see it shoot up underneath that thing, and it'll slide behind me a good 200 feet. If you're standing back there, it's going to take your feet out and you're not going to be ready for it. I try to make sure safety is priority. I have Lexan that I have in the front glass. I've got Lexan on the sides. It is a number one, especially if you're raising that mulching head up too. I know you guys that do this for a living know exactly what I'm talking about, but safety is our number one, and I'm always trying to be as safe as possible and letting people know that, if you're going to be there to watch stand back. Don't get real close because I don't want anything to happen. Progress so far, guys. We're really working towards completion here. A little bit of green left. I'm gonna try to pull out here in this road and cut it all up now that I've got it all done. There are still little smaller pines that I want to cut down. I'm gonna drag them out in the road and cut them the same way. You can sort of see that I've already been doing that. I'm just gonna sort of push them over in a pile. He's got a big excavator and a big fern pile he's gonna take them to when he's done anyways. For the most part, we're just in the short rows now. I'm just gonna be doing some second cuts, dressing it up. But I'm gonna drag these pines out real quick and I'll come back to you then with another bit of a time lapse. See you in a little bit. All right, guys, I'm gonna hop off this commentary horse and let you guys enjoy some music for the remainder of the video. I hope you've enjoyed it so far. If you have, please consider liking and subscribing. I would appreciate it. It costs you nothing in return, and it means the world to me. So anyways, let's just jump into this music. I'll see you later. So we're about 30 minutes away from being done, and here's the final product. So you can sort of see, I'm gonna pull the rest of these out in just a minute, get them cut back. But I'm not too sure this is an easy job to do when it comes to saving markers. If somebody goes in there, let me just put it this way. This would have been a 3-hour job if I had not had to worry about all these flat. But he's pleased with it. He's gonna have the guy come back out, and I told him, I said, if you need me to root rake it, I can come back later and root rake it if that's what he wants me to do. And that's just all dependent upon the guy doing the septic. So we got a couple more trees that we need to drag out here and chomp up, but I'm gonna end it at that. Guys, just look at the difference that is. I mean, that's amazing. For what we've done today in 4 hours, if you're a deer hunter, that's a perfect spot. You could cut you a spot in the middle of the woods, 3-4 miles back, just like this, and you can set yourself up in an oak tree very similar to this one right here, and you would be in a perfect spot. So any deer hunters close by, if you know where I live, give me a call. All right, guys, I appreciate you. I'm Lance Winnicott Brush. We'll see you in the next one. Out.